What's up everybody, welcome back. This year in preparation for hunting season, I bought a new rifle. I bought a 6.5 Creedmoor, put a scope on it, got it all set up. Didn't see a single deer, but that's not gonna stop me from going out and shooting the gun anyway. So what I'm gonna do today is I'm gonna take the steel behind me right here, as well as this welder on the side, and I'm gonna weld together a target that I can use to shoot at long range. And when I say long range, I'm talking up to, 1,000 plus yards. But there's not very many shooting ranges that go out to 1,000 yards. Usually when you're trying to shoot that distance here in Utah, you have to go out to just kind of the middle of nowhere, which is good because here in Utah, we have a lot of places like that. I'll walk you through what my plans are and then we'll get started. Okay, so right here I've got about 12 feet of 3/4 inch tubing, and then I've got a 1/2 inch steel plate that is 12 by 12 inches, and then there's about a foot of inch steel. So my idea behind this is I'll have the crossbeam that goes across the top, a couple holes drilled in it, chains coming down holding the steel plate, and then there will be 2 legs on each side that'll just kind of Y out, and that's gonna be what will support and hold up the target. There's gonna be a little bit of welding involved, not much. Mostly I'm just welding some of the 3/4 inch tubing onto the inch tubing. The last time I welded was shop class in high school, so it's been a hot minute since I used a welder. But the good news is I don't have to have super solid welds because I'm just using this as a target. Each one of the legs is gonna be about 2 feet 3 inches long, and then the top beam that'll go across will be 3 feet long. That way the legs of the stand are a little bit further away. That way the shrapnel from the bullets hitting the target aren't gonna shoot out and hit the legs. So I have everything measured out. Now what I need to do is make my cuts, and then once I have the cuts done, I'll figure out what the angle is going to look like for the legs. So you have the top beam coming across the top. I'm gonna drill 2 holes in the top beam, put some eye hooks in there, and then I'll have the 2 chains coming down connecting into these carabiners. I'll drill 2 holes in the steel, and the steel will just hang there. And then we'll have 2 legs on each side, and that's actually the reason why I got the square tubing, so that I could take this inch-long piece, cut that into sections, and that inch-long piece will slide over to 3/4 inch section, and however far I want that Y to be apart, that's where it'll stop. So I cut the piece of inch tubing up already. They're in about 2-inch block sections, and there will be 1 attached to each one of the legs. And basically what I need to do is figure out how far I want to space them apart, and then I'll mark how much I need to grind off on each one of these to have it be flat, and then I can weld this piece of inch tubing onto the top of it, and then it'll slide over this piece of 3/4 inch down here, and those will be the legs. Alright, I got the legs grinded down on top to the angle I want them, and then I got the inch-long blocks ready to go. So I should be able to take the legs and the block, weld one of these blocks on top of each one, and then the angle that it ends up being will be just enough for the legs to be out so the target stands up. The legs for the stand turned out pretty much exactly how I wanted them to in terms of how far they are apart. But do you see the mistake that I made? I'll give you a second. How about now? I know, I can't believe it. So the mistake that I made, the top pieces right here, should have been facing this way, and then the legs should have been coming out this way. So I actually ended up just cutting those top pieces off and re-welding them in the right direction rather than adding an extra piece of steel on there. And everything is pretty much done, except for drilling the holes in the 1/2 inch steel plate. All I have to drill through the 1/2 inch steel plate is a drill and some drill bits, and it's just not enough. It's taking way too long. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna take it to a shop and have them either use a plasma cutter or a drill press to put a couple holes in the top of that plate. That way I can hook it on the way that I'm thinking. So this is basically what it's gonna look like when it's done. 2 holes up top, the plate will hang in the middle right there. It disassembles super easily. Each one of these legs will just slide on and off. So you can break it down into just 5 pieces of metal and the plate. That way it's super compact and you can just put it in the bed of the truck or something. Finally tracked down a drill press, got the holes drilled. So I should be able to put that steel plate on the stand and see how it looks. Alright, so that's how it's going to be set up. So we've got the stand that I'll paint black, the legs that come out, and then you have the metal plate in the middle, which will basically be like a gong. Every time the bullet hits, it'll ring, so you'll be able to hear it even if you're at a distance. I'll probably paint it white or orange. That way it's pretty fluorescent, you can see it when you're aiming at it. and then every time the bullet hits, the paint will splatter off of the steel. You'll be able to see where you hit. It took a little bit longer than I expected. It actually took 3-4 days to get it all taken care of, just because I had to find a drill press for that. But overall, it was pretty easy to build. So I'm gonna paint this thing. Thanks a ton for watching, guys. Make sure you give this video a thumbs up and hit that subscribe button so you don't miss any future videos. And I'll see you around.